Welcome to the final big update of Dalek mod 1.12. Alien spaceships are heading for Earth. There you have it. The radar detected them. This radar alerts you when an invasion is about to happen. When an invasion starts, all throughout the day, aliens will spawn in your world. And these are specific aliens and invasions from the TV series. We're starting all the way with the Daleks' invasion of Earth from the first Doctor, and then the Yeti attack, and then the Autons, and then all the new Doctor Who villains, all the way to the end with the Timeless Children. The Sontarans invade. By the way, Kiseki made all kinds of new Sontarans. You have helmetless variants and the black ones from the classic series and the upcoming series, and the blue ones from the Russell T Davies era and Moffat. If you want to start at the start in an existing world, set your time to day or 0. And by the way, this is quite a big change, so if you don't like these invasions, you can just turn them off or change the amount of days in between the invasions. And even the amount of mobs which regularly spawn, or at least they should, you can now change where and how much they spawn in a separate config file in your Minecraft config folder. I really recommend getting either Dalekanium or Steel Shield. And, as you can see, they fly now. Some of the modern Daleks are flying. If you want to fight these Daleks, don't use arrows because they'll just bounce off them. You're going to need guns, and we've updated the guns a bit. From weakest to strongest, you have the normal pistols, which require copper bullets or brass bullets, and most common you find laser weapons, which you can craft these laser charges for, but the strongest weapon is the Dalek laser gun, which you need specific Dalek laser gun charges for, and they can't be crafted. They can only be obtained by killing Daleks or finding them in loot. And another way to get rid of these Daleks is with a PRV transmitter. If you place this on a Dalekanium emblem, it sends out a signal that scatters the Dalek's brain, it scrambles them a bit. They go insane, and usually, especially if they're not chasing you, they move away from this device. So if you put it near your entrance, for example, the Daleks won't come in. And sometimes, especially if they're flying and attacking you, it takes a while for the signal to kick in, so stay away from them. Get armor, use a shield. Like I said, this transmitter can only be put on the Dalekanium emblem, and this can be found as loot in all Dalek structures. The Dalek cities on Skaro, the Kala domes, which by the way have a better boss room now. Dalek Davros always spawns and there's better loot. All the spaceships, we even have new spaceships. This one, for example, made by Paul from the Dalek movie The Dalek Invasion of Earth 2150 AD. The new structure which we're adding is this weird thing on Varos. I want to give you a small peek inside. This must be the beta build. I held a competition with people on beta access where they could build underground rooms for this structure. Those are the new steel doors. You need a sonic to open those. There's a bunch of different doors which have now been added. Holograms, slave stasis pods. Some loot, the laser charges I spoke about. This was all inspired by the Daleks in Manhattan and Evolution of the Daleks. You'll find a room similar to that story built by Paul here as well. It's like a maze. They're testing intelligence. But of whom? There's bullets, rice seeds, I'll get to that later. Did you see that? Whew. Those are the mobs which Mr. Cedric made a long time ago. Thank you, Mr. Cedric, for that. Ow, but I don't like them. Well, you're gonna have to explore whatever this is on your own. I'm not gonna show any more. Now in those loot you saw some rice, and that's right because rice can be found to make rice pudding and it's loot, and tea is sometimes dropped by these tea leaves on Varos. And this is perfectly handy for getting some food on other planets. And I know you can't use the hoe, so therefore we have a new sonic feature, a whole sonic leveling system. You have to check the wiki for that. But for example, if you reach level 2, you can cultivate alien ground and plant your seeds there. And tea leaves you can even just right click and they just drop right off. And this is rice. You can have unlimited rice pudding. The Sonic will have various functions. The more you use it, the more your levels go up, the more abilities you have. For sharing sheep, blowing up pigs, cracking brigs, scanning mobs, turning steel and gold straight into their ingots. But speaking about the crops, the tea is very handy if you're on Mondas, because Mondas is very cold. And what you can do is you can wrap yourself in some clothing. The decorative clothing also has armor points now, so that's a bonus. However, just when you have worn enough warm clothing to protect yourself against the cold, your clothing is too heavy and you walk really slow. So if you want to wear less armor, gain that speed, you need to drink tea to keep warm. And tea are made with leaves from various alien plants and each has their special bonus effect as well. Speaking of Mondas, for the planets Gallifrey, Skaro and Mondas, we've added 3 ambient music tracks, which will play at random when you explore the planet and if you have music on. They're made by May and one from Minecraft 1.16 as a placeholder. Just to make your planet experience more comfortable, because well, there's no invasions here, so it's perfect to live. Even some of the stone and the wood on these planets can now be used for normal crafting. And you can fly your Tardis around here safely because, if I'm correct, that annoying Tardis flight bug where if you exit the flight mode and your whole screen just can't load your Tardis, that should be fixed now, John told me. And we even have a new modelled exterior, the dark wood. Kiseki made a new model for this, if you want to try that one out. We've also got 2 new interiors made by DHI, the crystalline interior from the 13th Doctor, which now uses more blocks instead of models, and finally the Hellbent interior got, well, the right interior. That was a bug for a long time. And this here is a roundel container. Yes, many of the roundels, if you put a roundel and then a chest next to it in the crafting table, you can get a roundel container and store stuff in there. The same applies for TARDIS doors. We've added some more roundel doors. If you don't want a TARDIS door to exit through like the police box door, you can use these roundels, right click them and you exit your TARDIS. And for the final big feature, I've bought our model Kiseki. Is that how you pronounce your name? Oh well.
It's a brand new feature.
A special kind of block.
From the story The Power of 3.
The Chakri cubes.
Which appeared all around the world.
But what does it do?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, that's very anticlimactic.
Just like the episode itself.
What is also a bit sad is that regeneration, the skin change, is broken. That's because all the old code made by various developers over the past years, it's such a spaghetti code, like we can't work our way around it. It was coded when everyone was young and it's a mess, so it's hard to fix it and understand what it means. So you might be asking, well, why don't you do it from scratch? And that's exactly what we've been doing, because around the 9-year anniversary of the mod, we'll be releasing the Dalek mod for 1.16, and this has been remade from scratch. And we're not just copying these features which are currently in 1.12, okay? All the planets, they'll be gone bar one maybe, all the different mobs, they'll be gone, because it's the first update actually of a new mod. But let's take a moment to look back on all the amazing things from this version, this iteration of the Dalek mod, which ran for 6 years from update 40 to update 64. Dalek mod 1.8 and 1.12.
Cyberdrones! 2 o'clock!
Matt, why is the Tardis on fire?
You set it on fire!
It's been an honour working on these. I hope you enjoyed the invasions. I'm gonna go inside now and make plans for the anniversary. See you in a week or two.